How important is the SAT, or how important do you think it's going to be now that we're out of this pandemic? Because that SAT would have done nothing to help Georgia.
Right.
So my philosophy is, why put her through it? Why make her do it if it's just going to sit in a drawer? Because it really would not, she's not seeing my child for who she is. She's a good student, but she's not interested in being an academic.
Right.
So she doesn't, if she applied herself to her full potential, she'd have a 4.5. She's not interested in that. And I'm not interested in that for her, because I don't want her to be someone other than who she is.
Right.
I want her to do her very best, but not to the point of distraction, of her not enjoying her life.
Right.
So the SAT for me, I was like, the question was, do you think it would show something different? This is a question I asked myself. Would the SAT show something different than she can already show? Like, can she present an insane score on the SAT, which maybe wouldn't be what's reflected on her report card? And I was like, no, I don't think so. I think her SAT will reflect exactly what's on her report card. So why would she take it? Is that a bad philosophy?
No. In some respects, you're lucky because, COVID did a lot of things, but one thing it did accelerate was this whole test optional process. So there was already, so fairtest.org is a nonprofit that, I think it's a nonprofit, that keeps track and promotes, not having testing, because it's about access. It's about, you can prep for it. So someone who has the resources could maybe prep and get a better score. Maybe not. It depends. But when you look at college admissions, they're looking at, the biggest thing is your transcript. That's 4 years of work, right? And then it's the rigor of that transcript. So not every GPA is created equal, because you could have the same GPA, but someone could have taken like all AP classes.
Sure.
And then they're looking at letters of recommendation from your teachers. These are all the things they're talking about over time, who you are. Standardized testing is a 4-hour block. You could have been sick. You could have had an athletic game the night before. Who knows? Maybe you don't have Wi-Fi and you're lower income and you could barely get to the testing center, right? So the question becomes, how accurate is it? And studies have shown that it does not predict how a student's going to do.
Right.
In some respects, some schools feel like it's a necessary evil, because when you've got 60% of the students who have a 4.0 or higher, like we talked about, how do you differentiate?
Yeah.
So that we're really, I think, at this like turning point with it. And we don't really know what's going to happen. There have been a few states that are requiring it. Georgia, Florida. I think I just heard that Tennessee. Some of the state schools are requiring the tests again. MIT went back to it. But there are a lot of schools that are staying test optional or test blind. The UCs and the Cal States, test blind. They don't even look at it.
Right. So there's no point if that's
the only school, right?
Yeah.
I typically have my clients take a practice. There's lots of free practice out there. See how you do.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. If you do well and you happen to be one of the lucky people who test well, and there are some out there, I was not one of them.
No, not me either.
But like my son's one of them. He tests pretty well, right? Take it and see. Because if you do it and you do well, it can only help. But the problem is it's inflated a lot of the test scores. So what happens? So if you're a test optional school, who's going to submit? All the people who are at the higher end.
Right.
So over time, it looks like their test scores are even higher, right?
Right.
So, and there's been, I could bore you. There's been like lots of data out there about like, does it help you at a certain school or hurt you at a certain school?
Right.
I think you can't get in the weeds too much.
No, yeah, I think that's good advice.
I think you have to just look at the overall picture. If you think it can help you and you take it.